Yo, what's up, people? Today we're going to be building a best test 11 of all time. Let's get straight into it. Okay, it's basically from the year 2000 because I didn't watch much cricket before then. But anyway, starting off with the openers, realistically, I have three options, maybe actually four. But I'm going to be a bit biased with my first one and say Graeme Smith goes straight into it for me. The guy was a colossal leader. I mean, he captained South Africa from the age of like 21. That's madness. And you know what stood out for me? In the fourth innings of this match, the guy's average was 52. If I have to chase 400 on any pitch in the fourth innings, my first player who's going into my team is Graeme Smith. And my word, he was an absolute warrior. Like the most iconic Graeme Smith moment for me, he comes out to bat with a broken hand against Mitchell Philippin Johnson. You have to be sick in your head to do that, but he's my captain and he's going to open the batting in my best test 11 of all time. And then my other three options, it's probably between Alistair Cook, Matthew Hayden, and Sehwag. Now, they all have great numbers. They're probably the best openers their country's ever seen. But I'm going to go with Sehwag for two reasons. Firstly, I really want that right hand, left hand combination up top. And secondly, Sehwag is so aggressive. Like I saw a crazy stat on the TV the other day that he still has like the top three highest strike rates in Test cricket, which is crazy since he played like a few years ago already. There's also this notion that he wasn't that good away from home. I mean, he was better at home, but so is most batsmen. But he did average 44 away from home, which is impressive in my opinion. My openers, perfect combination, perfect balance, right hand, left hand combination, Virender Sehwag and Graeme Smith. Okay, then at number three, I have another few options. I thought of being a bit more biased again and going with Hashim Amla, but I do think he faltered a bit towards the end of his career and he was probably better in ODI cricket compared to Test cricket. Then I could have went with Virat Kohli. He's a modern day legend. I do think he's a little bit overrated in Test cricket though. If it was an ODI 11, he's going straight in, no doubt about it. So who I'm going to go with is Ricky Ponting, the sexiest pull shot in history. The way that guy played the pull shot, lifting his leg, oh, it was too sexy. He was also a great fielder, a top leader. And when Ponting came out to play with those three-quarter sleeves, that's iconic, man. And then at number four, I think there's some space for modern day legends again. We can go with Kane Williamson, Joe Root, who is one of my favorite players at the moment right now. I just love the way he bats. But it's obvious we have to go with Sachin Tendulkar. The guy made his debut at 16 for India against Pakistan. He is treated like a god in India for about 20 years. The amount of pressure that guy had on his shoulders was insane. And now he's the leading run scorer in the history of cricket. You have to go with him. There's no doubt about it. If any World 11, Sachin has to go in. And then at number five, I'm giving you no options. I'm picking, there's only one player to go in as an all-rounder. The greatest player in the history of the game, in my opinion, Jacques Henry Cullis. You know what was crazy? That stat where Cullis has a higher batting average than Sachin Tendulkar and a lower bowling average than Zaheer Khan. Now that's mental. The guy would make most teams as a batsman and as a bowler. He has 13,000 test runs and almost like 300 wickets. And he also like never dropped a catch. He's the most underrated player in the history of cricket. Like, I don't understand how people don't constantly talk about him as being the best ever. He did everything. He was so good. He could bat for days. He could save a test match. He looked good. He was elegant. Oh, Jacques Kallis. There'll never be another Jacques Kallis. You can try as much as you want to replace him. There'll be great batsmen. There'll be great bowlers. But there'll never be a Jacques Kallis. Fight me on this till the death. You're never winning. And then at number six, I know these batsmen all bat higher in the actual teams, but they're good enough to bat at number six anyway, so I don't care. Firstly, I could go with Rahul Dravid. The guy is a wall. You could never get him out. Then Steve Smith. I think this is the closest current player to get into a World 11. His numbers are just like crazy. And I don't know, he has the weirdest technique ever. I don't like watching him bat. I don't like the way he plays. So I'm not going to go with him, even though he probably has the highest average of anyone on this list. Like, his numbers are just mental. And the player who I am going to go with is someone who was ahead of his time as a batsman, Brian Lara. The guy, most of his career, played with a very weakened West Indies team, and he still got crazy numbers. And at the end of the day, cricket is entertainment. Sport is entertainment. And there's no better entertainment than watching Brian Lara bat. The guy was pure flair, so I'm going to go with him at number six. And then at number seven, I need a wicketkeeper. Now, realistically, there's three options for wicketkeeper that I have. Firstly, Kumar Sangakkara. Now, he didn't really bat at seven. He batted much higher up the order, but for me, he's one of my favorite cover drives in the history of the game. He was so good. I also have AB de Villiers, who I can go with. Now, AB de Villiers, many people think he's the most talented batsman of all time. AB de Villiers is different, man. Like, that guy could come in and bat for 3 days and score 50, and he could also score 100 in a session. That's just the way he was. But also, he didn't bat much at 7. He was, again, another top order batsman. So, at the end of the day, I'm going to go with a batsman who can bat with the tail if needed, and he also can change the game in an instant. Adam Gilchrist. He was part of an amazing Australian team, and it would be a farce not to have more of them in this team. So I have to go with Adam Gilchrist. He can bat with the tail. He's got a strike rate of like 82, so he can change the game in an instant. But it's hard to leave out Sangakkara and AB de Villiers, I'm not going to lie. Now, because my top 7 is so stacked with crazy batsmen, I can basically go with 4 out-and-out bowlers now. And at number 7, I'm going to go with my GOAT fast bowler of this generation, Dale Steyn. And the guy could do it in any conditions. I remember one match in India when we were struggling. It was the end of the day. Dale Steyn comes on to bowl and he just rips India apart. The guy has a 37 strike rate in India. Do you know how crazy that is? He has 5ers and 10ers in India. How many fast bowlers actually done that? He's South Africa's leading wicket taker. If he had the chance to play more test matches and he didn't get injured, I think he would be by far the greatest bowler of all time. If I'm not mistaken, of all bowlers who have 200 or more wickets, only Kagiso Rabada has a better strike rate than Dale Steyn. And by the way, Kagiso Rabada is going to be on the list at the end of his career. There's so many players who I could go with. I mean, Wasim Akram, Waka Yunus, Curtly Ambrose, Courtney Walsh. But at the end of the day, those players played most of their good cricket before the year 2000, so I didn't get to watch it much. So I'm going to have to not go with them. They would probably get into this team if I watched them, to be honest. I could go with Brett Lee. I could go with Shoaib Akhtar. Oh, there's so many. Mitchell Johnston. There's so many good bowlers I could go with. But I'm going to go with Glenn McGrath. The guy could bowl the ball on a small coin the whole day. His accuracy was just insane. And he dominated the biggest test matches for Australia, the Ashes. So Glenn McGrath is going to be my number 9. Then at number 10, look, I wasn't a big fan of him for a long time. He's better in his home conditions, but I must say his longevity is just crazy. Jimmy Anderson. The guy has 700 wickets as a fast bowler. There's no other fast bowler ever who's going to ever do that again. Like, how do you play that much cricket as a quick and not get injured? Purely on longevity. I mean, he was a great bowler, but purely on longevity and how fit the guy was, he has to go into the C-level. He has the 3rd most wickets in the history of cricket. That's so hard for a fast bowler to do. They don't bowl as many overs as spinners. Like, he's got more wickets than the likes of Kumble and Herath. As I said, I wasn't a big fan of him a while ago, but he's just proven me wrong over the past few years. He's retired now, but he goes into my world 11. And then finally, my number 11. If it was turning conditions, I'd take both of these guys. You know who it is. It's either Shane Warne or Muttiah Muralitharan. Now, it's really a choice here. You could debate for years about who's the better player. And to be honest, I don't really know. I just like a leg spinner more. I just feel like batsmen were literally scared of Shane Warne. They were scared of getting embarrassed by Shane Warne. Murali was also like, he's got 800 wickets. You can't say you batsmen are not scared of him. But I just feel like Shane Warne had a different aura about him. You could go with Murali and I wouldn't say no. But I'm going to go with Shane Warne. What do you guys think of this 11? Like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you guys next time.